Okay, greetings everybody. My name is Coinstamp. Most people call me Coin. It's pretty easy to say. Welcome on back to another episode of The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Welcome back, Mr. Jason. Good to see you again. Boy, boy, oh boy. Has it been a long month? But before we even get into any of that, first, I just want to say I'm incredibly sorry to everyone for the way this past felt like a full month. It might as well have been a month. Just this past 30-day cycle. I really do apologize for how that's unfolded. But you guys are the best. I appreciate those that have stuck around. I really do. As for those who've left, I can't blame you, but I'm hoping I can earn you back if you've left because of a content drought. Before we get started, this is why I took a little bit extra time to get everything all set up for today's stream. I do want to first turn off the appropriate icons, and second, while we do not have any subscribers, patrons, or one-off contributors this month, I do want to thank Mr. Rasby for continuing to stand by me and give me the extra monetary support. That's been a godsend. Rasby, if you're here to hear this, good sir, thank you. I hope you continue enjoying all the lovely benefits that come along with that membership. And I will have an outward video real soon. If you guys want your names on any of these placards that I read at the start of the stream, a $1 a month pledge through Patreon or Coffee, or a Twitch subscription, Prime tier or better, or one-off contribution will get your name onto any of those placards. Of course, you guys being here is enough, but if you do want your names on those placards, that is what you gotta do. Without further ado, let's play the camera adjustment minigame while I, greet you guys face to face. Rasby's a pretty cool individual. I would be inclined to agree, Mr. Jason. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's more like an irregular streamer. He streams when he wants to. He's in it for the enjoyment of doing it whenever the hell he feels like. But when he does play, it really does kind of feel like a TV station with him. You're getting whatever he's in the mood for. If people don't like that, people are just not going to tune in. Now, let me go back and read these comments, and then I will go from there. Okay, nothing has changed. Nothing has shown up on the YouTube side. So let's read the Twitch comments. The wait has been worth it, Mr. Coin, at least for me. Thank you, Mr. Jason. Yeah, I appreciate you and Mr. Shiny and a couple of others, sticking by me during this turbulent month. And it isn't gonna get any better, I'm afraid. I think I put some details in the Discord, but I'm gonna put this in bookkeeping for video evidence purposes / posterity purposes. Mr. Jason goes on to say, as I said, take your time with every stream that you're unable to do. You wait excitedly with more anticipation for the next. And thank you for assisting with the shout out for Mr. Rasby. Hopefully everybody can hear me all right. I did do like a slight mic flicker test, but that's no substitute for other people's ears. So I'm trusting I'm coming in all right. And if not, people are going to tell me my mic's muted. So been a month. Before we get started, before we, play the Vidya game, first, a recap of what happened last time. Last time, we started rounding off a lot of the Korok seeds that were on the surface. We started to round up some of the shrine quests. And other shenanigans. Really, I would say probably since Necluda, the same old routine has not really left the woodwork yet. Trust me, we're working on it. We just gotta chug on through. Not much else to do. Then, as for what's going to happen today, I am going to figure out what the hell these pins are. It's been a month. I have forgotten what I've pinned. I'm pretty sure these are either Korok seeds or, like, shrine-related things. It's one of those two. Outside of that, I'm going to do, like, a quick check to make sure we've got all the Korok seeds on the surface. And then we're going to explore the depths of the Akala region. That's kind of the last thing we really have to do before we move on to the Pikida region over here. I want to start trying to get toward our second sage sooner rather than later. Now, let's see, Mr. Jason says the stream is buffering very occasionally, but everything else is good. Okay, good. I'm hoping that will even out as we continue to stream. So, bookkeeping. First, making sure I separate out what isn't affecting the stream. I do have a client job tomorrow, but that client job isn't going to really affect us. The client job that will affect us is on the 24th of this month. I believe that is a Wednesday, spanning out to that Sunday. That will be the 28th. Of course, I'm kind of putting rough benchmarks on the 24th through the 28th. I'm waiting for my client to kind of finalize the job positions, or not job positions. I'm waiting for them to finalize the hours, so I know exactly what the start time is and more or less when they're going to get back. They go to a lot of veteran support conventions, and they're pretty important bigwigs in the grand scheme of things. So they tend to have to leave early and stay late with all these extra trips they make. So there's always a chance that the job will bleed over into, say, Monday or even Tuesday. It just kind of depends. Mr. Jason says, regarding bookkeeping, should I give you a reprieve of your TCC role for a little while? You can immediately come back when you're feeling 100% again, or do you think that would at least be all right? Oh, my eyes are fine. I can handle TCC roles a-okay. The only thing I'll say about the 24th through the 28th is I'm limited by what I can do on mobile. So if you're like, oh, well, he can't access this or that function, okay, maybe a different person could take over. But I can access most things on mobile. I'll let you know through like Whisper or something if I can't hack it or manage it. Promise. Now, the most important bit of the bookkeeping. The absence. I owe you guys a vlog on this, so you guys are gonna get this again with the vlog. I'm gonna have that published before Saturday, but let's talk about it. Mr. Jason says, I have to ask because it's your role to consider staff welfare and morale. Thanks. I appreciate that. So, for those who maybe aren't in the know or only watch the VODs or like past streams, and you're listening to this in the background, for the past 3+ weeks, I have been dealing with I had been dealing. I'm recovered now. My eyes are healthy. I only have like the ocular psoriasis with my right eye, and that's like a congenital thing. There's nothing I can do about that. But for the past 3 weeks ish, I have been dealing with a possible transmission of viral conjunctivitis. That is viral grade pink eye. For those that don't know, it's like pink eye that's spread through a virus rather than bacteria. Most conjunctivitis, aka pink eye, is usually a bacterial infection. There's like yellow discharge coming out of the eye. It's like your classic high school cartoon depiction pink eye. I did not have that. Viral conjunctivitis has watery, clear discharge instead. And unlike bacterial pink eye, the viral pink eye, there's nothing you could do about it. There are no, I mean, you can take eye drops. You could even take the steroidal eye drops if you're prescribed those, but you don't take an antibiotic eye drop to cure it. That's not how viral illnesses work. You kind of just have to let them play. You have to let them play out. You have to like just treat the symptoms and everything. So that's been fun. I've kept during that time, I had to glove it up, because let me tell you something about viral pink eye, everybody. Viral pink eye transmits like norovirus. Norovirus is the lay condition is the stomach bug, a stomach virus. When you say people are passing around the bug, usually they're referring to norovirus. And norovirus symptoms are typically like upset stomach, indigestion, excessive bowel movement. Make of that what you will. But that's typically what norovirus is. It's usually in and out. Fun fact about norovirus: you don't even have to touch someone's fluids to get norovirus. All you have to do is touch a surface, because norovirus is so small that it goes through the cracks in the melanin of your skin, aka where, the surface of your skin, whether that be hands, feet, underarm, wherever, just surface skin, period. Like, just coming in contact with that through your skin, even with hand washing, doesn't matter. Your skin's already absorbed it. You've got the norovirus. The same is true of viral pink eye. You touch that stuff, you get it. And especially if you touch it and then rub your eye, yeah, you definitely got it. That was not fun. That was not fun whatsoever. But it's over. At least I like to think it is. Heck, even my ocular psoriasis isn't really flaking up too bad right now. All things considered, I actually feel pretty good. And that explains most of what this month was. But there's a lot of stuff that's happened in like the past month. A month is a long time for current events and political history. Let me read some messages here, and I'll finish this bit of bookkeeping and actually get to the game, which is what people want to see. Mr. Jason says, I look after my staff, especially my respected directors. Thank you. The board is your inner circle after all. Mm-hmm. Mr. Jason says, on the subject of staff as a more casual note, I'm incredibly pleased with Alex. I've been keeping like a modest eye, not too big of an eye, but I'm generally aware of staff movements. He took over Director Haru's previous role, right, and they've been exceeding expectations. Good. And I trust Director Haru has been okay with her workload. She hasn't had too much to trifle with on the TCC Discord. And then you go on to say the buffering seems to be a non-issue currently. Good. Thank you. Shoot, where was I going to take what I was about to say? Yes. Mr. Jason says, Haru seems okay so far, but to be honest, you haven't really called a meeting yet. Yeah, I've kept notice, and you've been telling us through the, private boardroom you set up. I do pay attention. It's just I don't always get around to replying in a timely fashion. Deeply sorry about that. Okay. As for, this is, like I said, this was the last bit of bookkeeping. I want to make sure I'm abundantly crystal clear on the next few things I'm about to say. So, number one, as I mentioned in the announcements on my Discord server, the past few days I've been trying to right the ship on the sleep schedule. I finally got it righted more or less today. So with any luck, after the 28th, we should resume like a relatively normal schedule, at least until some other major event happens. Most of what's been happening these past 3 or 4 days has been me. The illness had nothing to do with it. Deeply apologize. Let's talk about current events for a second. You weren't the most fun with playtester Ridoku today, though. I saw a little bit of it, but I'll have to go back and read. This had something to do with a troll level submission, yeah, on the TCC. Like a troll level submission got removed. And I think a different one actually received glowing remarks. That's about as much as I've paid attention to that, at least for now. Not using official channels. Oh right, they made a submission in the non-relevant area. Makes sense. So, it's been about a week, maybe a little bit more. Here in the U.S., we had a high-profile political assassination. A prominent right-wing podcaster got killed. His name was Charlie Kirk. He was I believe he's the co-founder of Turning Point USA, which is a right-wing organization for giving conservatives a platform. It's basically a counterweight to like left-wing think tanks here in the U.S. There's a reason I'm putting a lot of this background in here. A young 22-ish-year-old man named Tyler Robinson got a rifle and shot Charlie Kirk in the neck from about 200 yards. That is a political assassination. Straight up. That's what happened. There's a reason I'm even evoking this in the first place. because I want to make it abundantly clear. No matter where you sit, or even where I sit on the political aisle, left, right, you know, for the US, or I don't know, would it be Labour and Tory for the UK? Like, whatever constitutes, like, collective policy versus individual policy versus, you know, authoritarian or libertarian policy, no matter what spectrum that is. I do not want to catch a soul rejoicing in glee about Charlie Kirk's death. If someone comes in here and they start singing praises about Tyler Robinson shooting Charlie Kirk, or someone says, I'm glad he's gone, other than me eliciting it as the example, which is what I'm doing right now, I am permabanning. No exceptions. Don't celebrate political violence for the love of God and everything that is holy. Please. My audience is well behaved, so I don't think I'm going to have this problem. But just in case it bears repeating, do not celebrate a political assassination. Period. Even if he'd lived, even if Charlie Kirk had lived, a shot through the neck is very hard to live through. But if he had lived through it, I would still be issuing bans for people celebrating political violence. Enough of that. No. I'm making my stance on this crystal clear. I do not care which side of the aisle people are on. If I catch wind of that, they're out. Like, I am skipping the ban process. Period. Okay. Let me read comments one last time, and then I will explain where I'm going to insert the first ad break, and then we'll kind of go from there. And then our rhythm should kind of go back to where it was, you know, after the impromptu ad break. Mr. Jason says, oh yeah, Columbet really impressed Natalie. Yeah, I did see that. I think the world of Natalie, but I know that they are very tough and fair. I wholly trust that someone did well if Natalie was impressed. Yeah, I think I saw her remark about it. Probably a must watch if it was recorded. Mr. Jason then goes on to say, as for political, I don't associate with either, as I feel like you get screwed no matter what party you're with here. Completely fair. The few people from the UK that I have talked to, particularly Englishmen, are not very happy with either the Labour Party or the Tories. And that's nothing to say of, what is it, Nigel Farage's, Reform UK party? Yeah, I'm of the mindset that the only thing that political parties and government do is screw people over. The less government we have, the better. Like, if we as a global society cannot agree on what the government should and shouldn't be doing, because the expectation is inconsistent from person to person, the best thing they could do is defend us and then do nothing else. But that's just my opinion. Mr. Jason says your audience is well behaved and you are zero tolerant. And goodness help them if they mention that in the TCC. I didn't see anything. And I think most people are smart enough not to do that. Because here in the US, I can't speak for anywhere else. Here in the US, people are getting fired, rightfully so, for that. Like, if you're going to be gleeful about someone's death, keep it to yourself. At the very least, don't go... I mean, I guess there's something to be said for going mask off so that we can see exactly who these people are and we know to avoid them. On the other hand, you don't want to facilitate, you don't want to freely facilitate that sort of negative speech flying around. There's like a tough, there's definitely a fine line that anyone on a platform has to like walk, whether that be Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Reddit, Discord, so on. There's like a fine line, but I think I'm walking a pretty good one. I don't care what people think about Charlie Kirk. I don't care what people think about Tyler Robinson. I don't care what people think about the various people commenting on the assassination. Just don't be celebratory. The loss of life is tragic. That's about, people don't need to feel bad. But people shouldn't be feeling glad. Period. Mr. Jason says, I'm very strict in your organization. I would fire even at the level of the board, which are the most powerful people ever, other than yourself, if inappropriate things were mentioned. Yeah, this is a level of inappropriate that it's ban-worthy inappropriate. I'm just gonna put it that way. Make of that what you will. Now, outside of the half-hour talking, we're gonna probably play, I'd say about 15-20 minutes, probably 20 minutes, and then I'm going to run like a small, I would say a 60-second break. And then afterwards, I'll automate the timers and we'll kind of go from there. I already took the time to assess our stuff. Nothing has changed. We still got this crystal that we need to tote over here. And to be quite honest, I couldn't remember if I had a misgiving about whether or not I wanted to activate the shrine. I think I might activate it and not go in yet, because we won't be going to the Lanayru or Zorana region for quite a while. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I'm forgetting something. There we go. I forgot to mute the, I forgot to mute my monitor. My NVIDIA G-Sync monitor actually makes sound, so I don't need headphones to use it if I don't want them. Oh, that's not gonna work. That's gotta go on one of the ends. Mr. Jason says... some complete and utter fool got a position of client representative in the TCC and then decided they can have an argument with you. I don't know why. I could get rid of their bosses. Bosses. Boss's boss. Yeah. Oh, no. Nope. Yep. I thought that would probably happen. That's gonna be a yikes for me. Off to a strong start. Can I just say that I have not cracked open the game in quite some time. I think what I have to do is put this in front. Or... Oh, I know what I could do. I could change the orientation like this. And the TCC at that point was nowhere near what you've seen back then, Mr. Coin. No doubt. Go ahead and do this. Okay, so I need to like tilt down while I'm flying this. Okay. I need to be careful about releasing the joystick. Yeah, like, I think for me, and of course, I'm very careful when I choose to exercise this. If I felt there was something that we really needed to talk about, I would at least, and, let's say you and I are sitting on the opposite sides of the line. I can talk while this is going on. If you and I were on opposite sides of, like, an issue, especially in regard to the TCC. I'll like voice my opinion, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to try to flout the rules or anything else. I'll just make my position known. That's it. And I do my best not to be abrasive about it. I'm very good at playing the bad cop role. I'm very good at that. I'm someone that could get right bristly if you allow me to. Tends to make people clam up real quick. But oh yeah, that's kind of a short-lived hover bike. Oh well. It's right there. We might as well do it. And good thing this is a blessing. What was I saying? Sorry, streaming is like a muscle, everybody. If you don't stream, you get rusty. Kind of have to get the flab off your brain when you're streaming. I'll get back into the swing of things momentarily. That said, I'm 33, almost 34. Not almost, I'm like halfway there. I've lived longer. I've simmered down. As a 23 or 26-year-old, I would have been more cocksure, headstrong. I would have been a little bit more deterministic in my decision making, and if I knew in my heart of hearts that there was going to be a problem, or I felt compelled to speak up and say something, no hesitation, I speak up. I've mellowed out, and my hesitancy has made me a bit more indecisive, but in exchange, I'd like to think I've gotten a suitable gift in return, which is that of picking the right moments in which to actually issue the opinion. Like, I've gotten a lot better at that, and a lot better at introspection as a whole. Which, I guess, to wrap it back around to your comments, Mr. Jason, I'm glad to have a position on your board, because I think if you had met me a number of years ago, I don't think I would have had that position then, number one. And number two, I think in some aspects I would be funnier. I would be perhaps more entertaining. But I would have definitely been a little bit easier to bristle. Which ultimately, I guess I'll kind of go on to say, no, I didn't mean to jump off. This is gonna take. I'm definitely having to like remap the controls in my mind, because I've been busy playing Outward and Elden Ring Reforged. There's different control finesse required for those two games. The gift of age, right? Ultimately, one of the gifts of age is, and especially with experience in that age, is the ability to not waste energy on every little thing that sits in front of you. Sometimes the best course of action is to do nothing. And it's something that makes people upset to hear, because people want to be proactive and do things. Sometimes the more you struggle against the chains, the more they tighten, like a Chinese finger trap. Sometimes you just have to do nothing. You have to calm down. You have to logically think through things and then come back later. Come back later with a perhaps a more polished opinion that's airtight. Like the reasoning that you use is airtight. And it is not easily susceptible to counter argument. Let's see. Mr. Jason says, I love your opinion, actually. Hence, it's why you're on the board. Thank you. Thank you. Heck, if you didn't want the opinion, you wouldn't have a director role. Totally fair. Now, it goes without saying, though, you do have to step around when you do give a point in the TCC. Even Jamie251 does. Although, outside of the TCC, there's no superiority. Right. Like, the hierarchy in the TCC is TCC specific. That's true of any Discord. I'm about to figure out why I marked this. If we at the level of the board can't have the tough talks, it's not ideal. That's what we have to discuss. Right. There's a difference between having the tough talks and being rude about it. Sometimes we just have to say things as they appear. I think. Oh, I know why this is here. It's marking a cave. That's right. Oh, let's talk to Mr. Penn then. Hey, look at you, partner. Coming all the way out here to track down leads. You remind me of me. What? That's a non-sentence, Penn. So how about it? Tell me you got something we can work with. No? I got nothing either. Not a chirp, not a warble. Even if I strain the old ear holes, no sir, not the slightest peep. So what to do when our leads go quiet and luck runs out? I suppose we got one last resort. A prophecy. Oh yes, it's come to that. Good thing there's one heck of a cuckoo around here that speaks prophecy. I mean, we know it's hard to believe, but you got to wonder. Oh. Look at the tree there, the one way up on that hill. They say folks are lining up to hear those prophecies every day, hoping to have their fortunes told. I know what you're thinking. Seasoned reporter like me hoping to get a lead from actual poultry? Well, hear me out. Those that flock up there for their fortunes, they might know the real story here. Interview them. The all-clucking cuckoo. I see. Let's see. What about you? Why, hello there. Welcome to South Bacala Stable. Oh, no. Dang it. Certified pun. Just kidding. A bit of sheep humor for you. The place you're at is actually called South Bacala Stable. Man, that humor was about on point with the feeling of steel wools scrubbing your fingers. I'm kidding. It's all right. It's classic Nintendo pun fare. Since we've always had so many sheep here, some visitors started calling us the sheep stable. I bet they're feeling sheepish after that. And no, there is no joke counter. I know, sadness, but I promise you, any amount of time that was spent most of the time spent during these past 3 weeks have been either recording a huge amount of content for backlog purposes, or lying in bed because I'm tired, or when I had the viral conjunctivitis, you know, eyes hurt, Sucks to look at anything lit up. Sucks to be in well-lit places. So my eyes stay shut, and my back was on my bed. Not really much more to say than that. But I do have the joke counter idea written down. As soon as I think of something, I think of a way to incorporate that in with the current overlay, I will do so. Mr. Jason says, here we're talking as equals, but internally you have to sell me your opinion or I likely won't even acknowledge it. It's just the official process. Fair. Totally fair. Well, I don't state an opinion without making some kind of an argument, but sell is always a tough thing. Persuasive speech is really difficult speech. I know. I've taken college courses on it. And it's one thing to understand the theory of persuasive speech. It's another thing entirely to actually do persuasive speech. To talk persuasive speech. You can know all of the tricks in the world, but if your execution of them is shoddy, then you're not even going to be able to sell a toddler on which candy out of which hand you're going to take. They're not going to make a choice. Like, you have to practice persuasive speech. Mr. Jason says, ultimately, I can dismiss a unanimous vote if you think it's terrible. I'm willing to bet the times where that is really, truly the case is rare. I'm willing to bet it's rare. Most of the time, you really don't want to overrule a collective without a good reason. And that's not... This is me talking about the optics of board procedure and not, like, in companies and not so much, you know, the TCC specifically on that. So I thought, why not embrace it? And I started taking extra good care of the sheep. Before I knew it, even more showed up. It was like a woolly invasion. But no complaints from me. I think they're just adorable. Sadly, while I was busy making this place a utopia, our cuckoo went missing. That joke was very gross.
Sure, Jan.
I definitely stretched for that. My goodness, we've started out strong. Our cuckoo went missing. That poor sweet bird always hated being alone. She wouldn't lay eggs unless one of us was nearby. I hate to think how scared and lonely she must be. Sometimes I swear I hear a sad squawking sound and it wakes me up. But that must be a dream. Sad squawking, huh? Well, maybe the cuckoo up there might be related. Maybe related. Mr. Jason says it's exceptionally rare. It's not happened. Good. I would like to see it remain that way. Oh, really? Alright. Why are you doing that? I guess I could, like... Okay, you can't really do that. I have to, like... figure out what else to do? Mr. Jason says the reason why I want board members to sell me the ideas is because it is technically you, Helen, Sadie, Haru, Jamie, and Madeline running the entire operation. I mean, you also run it, but I get the point you're trying to make. We kind of have to come to some sort of collective agreement about things. I don't think I could put a octo balloon on our lovely friend, the cuckoo. I don't think that can happen. Let's see. I'm gonna try. It's not for a lack of effort. Nope. That's not gonna work. Okay, I don't think we can climb, so... I need to think about... Maybe... Well, I don't think a... How do we handle that? Is there something in my list of parts that I can use? Oh, I know what I can do. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm gonna try. Perhaps we could pogo the chicken out of here. And maybe we might have to get a hover stone out. Like this. It's just to get a stable surface on which to put the cuckoo on. Mr. Jason says you run it, yes, but you prefer to just be in the background because you finally have people you can trust and delegate the general operation to, so you all have to debate each other. Fair. Ow. Okay, I'll get an extra hoverstone out. Okay. Let's try it like this. I think I'm entirely overkilling this. I'm sure someone has come up with a more creative solution and a simpler solution all at the same time. Okay, did we manage to get the cuckoo out? Mr. Jason says, I have built it up and managed it mostly alone, so now that you have reliable directors, you feel comfortable to fade more into the background now? Fair. Okay, so what happened to our friend the cuckoo? Did you... I'm so worried about our missing cuckoo. She's always hated being alone. I just wish she had a friend to keep her company. I wonder, I really think we, okay, so you're here. Let's put you on the spring again. Methinks that the... Yeah, it just straight up does not work. Okay, I think the cuckoo on the hill is going to be related to this cuckoo. That's just my initial instinct. Let's go, or my initial line of thinking. Let's go confirm or deny this theory. And now I remember what this was for. This pin was for the cave systems. That's what I was marking down. Mr. Jason says your only concern is that if Haru does feel it is too much, they won't get their old role back. They will move to being under Alex. I have something I want to say in regard to that, and I'll probably put it in the board channel later. Maybe tomorrow. I need time to, like, gather my thoughts before I say what I'm gonna say. In regard to, like, people getting old roles versus not. I'm also gonna, like, review the TCC rules and everything you've told me so far before I even think about uttering a peep. but I do think I got something to say about that. So look forward to a well-reasoned and well-constructed proposal about that. Oh, someone actually managed to get their prophecy written. That's because Alex and Haru both know of that, so you've informed them both. Makes sense. Should I really ask about that? No, maybe not. But then again, Are you here for a prophecy from the all-clucking cuckoo? Get ready for your life to change. They say the cuckoo's words always come true. Actually, do you want to take my place in line? I have a lot of questions, and I need time to sort out which to ask. Really, you'd be doing me a favor. Go ahead. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Thy name. What is thy name? I sense it. You are Link, and you're searching for someone. Ah, yes. Princess Zelda. I know all, and what I know is thou wilt face trials that will reveal much to you. So, will thou take these trials? I'll try it. Click, click. Very well. The first trial is get to the top of that stable's head within the time limit. Walk, run, fly, whatever it takes. Ready yourself. Cluck, cluck. Oh, no. On top of the horse's head, huh? Sure. Cluck, cluck. You finished. Okay, what next? No need for that message coin. The entire intention was to promote Haru, who's been with us for a very long time, to director. Fair. And then getting someone great to take over because client representative is probably more important than even my role. Clients wouldn't see me from day to day after all. Fair. Fair. Okay. Cuckoo says, good job with that trial. I'd say I'm impressed, but I already knew that was going to happen. So, thou, ready to face the next trial? Only if thou overcome it. Will thou find what thou seeketh? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I read that completely wrong. Only if thou overcome it will thou find what thou seeketh. So, are you going to try it or what? Cluck, cluck. Very well. The second trial is bring 3 logs here within the time limit. Okay, my Twitch chat has been refreshing a lot on the OBS end, so if I do miss messages, I apologize. I'm going to trust that's not a problem. But just being fully transparent here, if I do miss a message, that's going to be why. Mr. Jason says, plus, I don't want to waste your time and effort. Fair. This would have been one of those extremely rare things where I would have been steadfast in your decision anyway, even though I love your opinions. Fair enough. You've made your case. Lots of trees around here. Any of them will do the job. Just do whatever it takes to get them here. Cluckety cluck cluck. Do you feel clucky? Well, do ya? Insert meme of Quest for Camelot with the... What is it? Beaky? Is it Beaky? It's the chicken that ended up getting an axe stapled in front of the mouth. It's like or like glued in front of it. If you guys are like in your mid-20s or 30s, you might know where I'm grasping at from this. Ready yourself. Okay, let's see. How do I want to do this? I guess we could do it like this, sure. Just, very quickly mow over these 3 logs. staple them together. And then we'll just take them up the hill. You don't have to be precise. We just need to be quick. Extremely. Yeah, so look, I'm old, okay? I'm old. Quest for Camelot is old. Click, click. You finished. Look, didn't Eddie Murphy voice one of the heads? My God, it's been too long. With Ruber and King Arthur and the blind guide. Mr. Jason says I was fixing a typo in the above. Oh, I just figured you were dragging out the E for extra emphasis, which people sometimes do in informal English. Fair enough. So you tired yet or what? You've got to be worn out. Well, it's been entertaining, so naive, so trusting. I can't believe you fell for this. A talking cuckoo? Ridiculous. Now that you're worn out, we've got you right where we want you. Everyone, get him and finish the job. Oh, is this a Yiga clan fight? Yeah, it sure is. Two, three. Mr. Jason says, I'm usually against duping exploits, Mr. Coin, but this morning you loaded up Tears of the Kingdom, did a manual save, sent some of my silver Lionel blades to your second save, and then reloaded them, and you have 100 plus damage weapons for taking on the temple bosses. Nice. We'll let you off easy for now, but don't get used to it. We won't hold back next time. Be prepared. Oh, I'm prepared. I've got two, Colgera jaw weapons. Hey, there's my partner.
Oh.
I was just giving a good long think to the all-clucking cuckoo situation when I saw everyone running around the tree here. So what's the story, kid? It was a Yiga clan ambush. Uh-huh, I see. Well, I had a suspicion that a cuckoo couldn't yap to save its life, but I didn't suspect this was a Yiga clan trap. Those chumps really knew how to lure us in by mentioning Princess Zelda. Guess we walked right into that one. But at least this will make one heck of a newspaper story. Hold on a minute. There's like a little fruit fly or fruit gnat flying around, and I feared that I almost swallowed it, so which would have been really bad. I could have lost my voice right there on the spot, or choked. Do not want that. So that's why I was kind of like moving my head weird, in case anyone was noticing. Mr. Jason says, one thing that makes me feel really good, Mr. Coin, I did some tidying of the TCC earlier today. As some of the posts have unknown role messages, you had mentioned that in quite a few posts, yes. And you say a few messages that were basically, this Discord is very professional. Nice. Mr. Jason says, that makes me feel very happy. The TCC is a very professional place. If everyone is on their best behavior, I really don't think there are going to be any problems within that Discord whatsoever. The ship is run nice and tight. And I'm going to help ensure that it remains that way. But at least this will make one heck of a newspaper story. All those who put their faith in that cuckoo's prophecies, people need to know the truth, or else they'll fall for more of these lies in the future. Oracles, my tail feathers. Oh, oracles, my tail feathers. We've worked together to chase 3 of the stories relating to Princess Zelda. I didn't think making progress would go so smoothly, you know. I guess it helps to have a dedicated partner. Go on and add this to your nest egg, partner. Thank you, Pen. Oh, whoops, I almost forgot, partner. Tracy's been really impressed with you and asked me to give you a bonus. Here you go. Anyway, get a load of you giving us a big scoop and those geek adults a healthy clobbering. All in the same day. Not bad for a day's work. You keep that up and I'll have no choice but to keep you on as my partner for a long, long time. Until we grow old and have children with Zelda. Oh, wait, what? But enough crowing. If I want to meet my deadline, I better get back to the office and start writing this up. See you, kid. Mr. Jason says, absolutely. Staff are watching the clients. Management are watching the staff. The board is watching the management, and I don't need to watch the board as you trust them in the first place. Precisely. See? Well-oiled ship. Runs nice and smooth with people you trust. That's like an ideal desk job scenario, by the way. Okay, did, 1, 2, oh, nope, sheep. I could have sworn I heard a cuckoo crying out in the distance. Huh? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I was counting the sheep and ended up dozing off. Right, the sheep stable. But no complaints from me, right. He'd think how scared and lonely she must be. It's not a dream. The cuckoo is right here. How else would I get it out, though? Do I have to, like, attack it or something? Interesting. Mr. Jason says, and if anything bad gets wind up to me, it's an immediate investigation. Of course. I might look into this cuckoo during our break or what have you. Kind of go from there. But I think I'll go ahead and take that break now. I know we haven't exactly gone spelunking yet, but that'll change real soon. We don't really have a we don't have too much left on the surface, if at all. I'll also go ahead and confirm the Korok seeds that we have done during break. But that said, I do want to thank everyone for hanging out with me so far. I really appreciate it. Mr. Jason says, I'm very pleased for 200 clients. I'm also pleased for 200 clients. Our Discord, the TCC is doing really well. I'm pleased with that. You guys have been the best audience I could ever ask for. We're going to take a 1.5-minute break. I'm just going to put the BRB screen up for this one in front of the camera area. It's going to be kind of a medium-sized break, not the full 3 minutes. That'll come in 1 hour and 10. That's how I'm going to get us back on to the pacing we're supposed to be at. If you guys like this content, you guys want to keep up with the live streams or whatever else have you, please consider subscribing on YouTube or following on Twitch. It lets me know that you like the content or that you just want to be here for me. But in either case, if you hadn't done so already, we do take commercial breaks around here. Now, this one's going to be 1.5 minutes, but normally at the top of the hour, there will be a timer in the upper left-hand part of the screen. Ticks, and it will tick down. When it's finished ticking down, we'll get right back to the gaming. And usually we play a few minutes of advertisements to encourage people to get up, stretch, do all that fun jazz. I still encourage people to get up, stretch, and, do all of that fun jazz, but there just won't be as much time for it. We'll only have 1.5 minutes, really. That said, and without you know, fooling around too much more, we're gonna go ahead and take that stretch break right now. See you guys after this quick 90-second commercial break. Sorry about that, folks. I am back. So, I did look into the whole bit with the cuckoo, and I can't say I'm surprised. I guess I was just expecting things to play out a little bit differently. So what we have to do is we have to make it midday. Actually, we may not even have to do that. I just saw the cuckoos. Also, let's take a second and just make sure YouTube has been about the same. It certainly has. That is not at all what I was trying to do. Oh, we just straight up have to, like, actually put it down there. Right? Yeah, there's not much else to say here. After we do this little bit of a cleanup with the cuckoo, I guess we just have to, like, hold it. We actually gotta just take it down there with us. We'll quickly make sure that the caves are all taken care of. Don't you dare. Maybe chit-chat with the lovely lady over here. For a while, I'd wake up to a sad squawking sound in the distance, almost as if she was crying out for a friend. But lately, the squawking sounds happier. I know I probably dreamed all of that, but it comforts me to think that wherever she is, she's not alone anymore. Yay for unwritten quests! Okay. Let's go ahead and make sure that we've got all of the underground entrances taken, or all of the wells and caves taken care of. And then after that, we should be good to start going into the underground properly. Because we did go into the depths way over here. This got revealed to us when we finished the labyrinth, but that's a very, like, separate location. Okay, so I see one that's still here. Because we've got the 2 caves over there. We've got the well over at the South Akala Stable. We literally just went into that. We've got the well, the caves and wells here. We still have one in Terrytown that might be supposed to be here-ish. And then what else? No caves there. And I guess we still technically have the entrances into the chasms, but that's like just a whole separate beast of a different color. We have that one there. We have... Let's see, where is that exactly? Maybe over here somewhere? Greetings, Mr. Shiny. It's been a while. Good to see you again. How have you been, good sir? Hopefully, hopefully better than I have been during these past... Oh, gosh, I think it really has been just about a month. I mean, I'm completely cleared up now, and you know, my sleep schedule has finally kind of more or less corrected itself. But this month still hasn't been particularly fun, so I'm sort of hoping. I'm sort of hoping your month has been better than mine. Mr. Jason says, as you probably saw, Mr. Coin, Columbet might have had quite the wait if you didn't say. I want to just inform you that I've made the official executive decision that Columbet's level is a must-play. I did see that as soon as you're reasonably able to do so. I enjoyed what I've seen so far in Ridoku's stream the other day. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. There's that cave. Yeah, there's like a couple of caves left. Okay, and it looks like the last cave that we have to worry about is over there. All right. One thing at a time. Maybe use this. How do I want to do this? I guess we could do it like this. Sure. Mr. Shiny says, I will be honest, not doing so well. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that you're not doing well. Incredibly stressed about your progress with a thesis. Ooh, a thesis. And the fact that you can't motivate yourself to work. You feel disgust and frustration about yourself. I mean, that's life. I'm not going to tell you that what you're feeling is invalid. It totally is. But this is sort of where I'm hoping I could maybe distract from that for a while. Or, if you don't mind, if you're feeling up to talking about it, I would like to know what your thesis is. Oh, whoops. You know, what are you generally working on, if and you don't mind my asking? Because as a former academic, I do usually enjoy a good, robust paper. It's been a while since I've read one. These days, I'm mostly watching video format content. That's one. There's two. And I see that our friend the Thunder Gleeok is back, but I'm not gonna deal with him yet. I'm gonna, maybe if at all, I might deal with that off camera, because we've already fought at least one on camera. I'm going to focus on caves and such. Shiny says, I'm interested in two fundamental numbers in mathematics, pi and e. Ooh, I love those numbers and the way that they are connected to each other. Oh, yes. I can imagine the conversation that one could have about complex numbers and the fact that Euler did a lot of work with using both pi and e, and how the complex plane, motion on the complex plane can kind of be described in a circular motion with lots of circular functions. Oh, e and pi are very interesting to talk about. Oh, really? I wasn't expecting a hole in the cliffside. Mr. Jason says, I can't tell Natalie what needs to be done with regard to playtesting because external factors. Nice. External factors are at play. And they're internally to a part as playtesters do set their own hours internally. But I'm certainly the only one with the ability to emphasize something as important to someone like Natalie, a board member. Anyone below Natalie wouldn't obviously have the same effect. Maybe. Just trying to get into the hole. Classic gaming conundrum. Piloting things into a tight space. See. Should be able to squeeze right through. Yeah. I doubt we're going to be able to take it out of the hole, though. That's going to be a very rough execution. Now, we are in a tunnel, so there will definitely be a bubble frog lying around somewhere. Mr. Jason says, in fact, if someone under Natalie addresses Natalie as such, Natalie would be in their right to discipline them accordingly. I see. Mr. Shiny says they'll tease something else. Your catalyst are Your catalyst are Fibonacci numbers. Okay. And as follows, the golden ratio. I take it that's all going into the thesis? So are you writing a math paper? Mr. Shiny, again, if you don't mind my asking. I do so enjoy good STEM paper. Good mathematical paper. Yeah, very much. I think that's awesome. Assuming that, you managed to pull through and write it. Math papers are fairly technical write-ups. Especially because depending on the instructor, I didn't have any math instructors that required it because, we either took our tests through a math program, or we had like written paperwork to take tests on. Some of my other STEM instructors have required the use of latex in their papers. I think I'm saying that correct. It's the equation markup language for text writing, like Word and such. You can run equations into a latex editor and get a equation latex. I do have it correct. Good. I couldn't really write anything without assistance in latex, but I did find the program fascinating. Mr. Jason says, board members are to be respected after all, Mr. Quine. Too true. And I assume the rest of the board would back their colleagues. Yeah, I would. Provided something doesn't come up or what have you. Please tell me this is not the only thing that this, I wonder if Will ascending through just get us into Terrytown? What? What? Okay, I am going to put our little hover bike back onto the water, and then we're going to maybe see what that's all about. I hope it's gonna stick. I can tell you, going back to the STEM paper for another minute, I was definitely one of only a few students to put their equations into latex. I can't tell you the number of times and the amount of sleepless nights I got from having to finagle latex. But the grade on the paper was a lot better for it. Like a whole 3 to 5 points, because I actually formatted the equations correctly. Oh, thank you. Not being able to open that door was really starting to annoy me. So a cutout was blocking the door? Well, I appreciate your help getting it out of the way. I'll just move these back out so they can't go and block the door again. Nice, I did something and wasn't even aware of it. Please tell me the hover bike is still intact. Mr. Jason says, oh yeah, you need to be there anyway. Mr. Coin? Fair. Fair. Mr. Shiny... Oh, let me make sure I've got the right chat pulled up. Mr. Shiny says, a lot of technicalities about it, but the final product looks so much better than anything written in Word in the same time window. Fuse a cutout to your shield? Do I wonder if I have a shield for that. Oh, and I hope I didn't mess it up. I can go back through the cave if I need to get one. They're a bit banged up, so I was planning on throwing them out, but you're welcome to them as well. All right, do I have a spare shield? I think I have a spare shield. If not, I'll just like unstaple a I'll like unfuse a royal shield for this. Destroy fuse material. Let's do it like this. Oh man. Mr. Jason says, it's not to scare people, but you want to emphasize do not mess with the board. Right. Well, of course. I totally get that. Okay. Our hover bike has to be down there. So that's not where the hole... Actually, is that where the hole is? Yeah, there is a hole. Oh, I think our hover bike is just straight gone. How does it feel to carry President Hudson on my back? I feel like I'm a better representative than Addison would ever be. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be ragging on Addison. He's doing his best, but you know, I'm gonna rag on him a little bit. Mr. Jason says, I know Mr. Coin knows where I'm coming from. I do. Authority is something that should be respected. There's a reason why people respect it. And usually for their own good. And you also do it where clients can make suggestions directly to the board. Like, you can make them, but you go against the board to do so. Okay. Just make sure... Oh, yeah, I should probably make sure I've taken the necessary second and toggled back on the schedule effects I have set up. Okay, good. So now we should be on automated ad breaks from here. I don't mind manually running ad breaks, but I gotta tell you, if I've got a script that fires them up, I'm much happier using the script. Let's, I thought for sure maybe I would have seen it out here, but no, it truly is just well and gone. Let's put another hover bike out there, shall we? Mr. Shiny says, okay, I'm sure it's no use to open your laptop and write today, especially in your current mental state. And you will instead let some steam out in Breath of the Wild and work on your paper tomorrow morning. Very well. Do what you want. The only thing I might request is just don't give up. Papers are serious business. I can't tell you the number of times where I've given up on a school paper, and giving up on it really bit me in the butt. Mr. Jason says, I was actually thinking of changing TCC management to client information as well. Sure. You're the boss. Like when you say change it to client information, I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying here, Mr. Jason. Are you talking about the channel name, or like channel category name, or something else? Can't really crack open Discord easily, or I would go verify that for myself. It's the only reason I'm asking. The account. Ah, okay. Makes sense. Mr. Shiny says, it kind of sucks to work on anything during your birthday, but it is how it is. That's the spirit. Work's gotta get done, right? I mean, don't press your mental state, but if it's gotta get done, then it's gotta get done, right? And it's better not to, it's better not to, like, sorry, my brain is fizzling out halfway through the sentence. An awful thing to have happen. I just know what it's like to procrastinate on papers, and I hate it myself every single time. I hope that you're able to get past the mental health blockade at some point. And hopefully tomorrow morning. That would be the hope. Let's see. Mr. Jason says, oh, Mr. Coin, you've gathered some feedback. Cappy, our 200th client, asked some very good questions in the main reception area. Alex even said that those questions terrified them. Oh, that's... I mean... Terrify's a really strong word. I guess I'll probably take a crack or take a look at those questions. I presume they've already been answered, so it's I don't think I need to do anything about them, but I guess it's worth seeing what was so scary about them. Okay, let me make sure we are not wearing any metal. That is a piece of metal. Shiny says, you can't imagine how many times you wanted to punch yourself already. Please, yes, I'm glad I'm glad that you aren't doing that. Please don't. After you're done, you will 100% seek therapy before things get even more out of control. That's the spirit. Therapy is good. Therapy can be helpful. I wish I had it. And of course, I guess this is a good opportunity to maybe like transition to like a more general like topic. How do you guys see therapy? Because I'm I'm chronically online, so I see all kinds of different opinions about therapy. There are some that say it is over-recommended and over-prescribed. Weird thing to say about practicing coping techniques, which is really what therapy is, at like a base level. And the other kind of opinion I generally get exposed to in regards to therapy sentiment is therapy works for women and tends not to work so well for men. Again, I'm only spitting out what I've heard other people say online. I think therapy is great. I have friends and other family that have consistent therapy, and they're a lot better for it. Me personally, since I've never had therapy, it's kind of hard for me to actually answer it. But I can only go by, you know, other people, the testimonials of my friends, family, you know, like school associates and so on. And all of them are better for it. Let me go and catch back up on chat here. You answered them all with a TCC management account. Understood. Mr. Jason says, Furt said, is it really this rare? The classic skeptics question. Hard to believe since you just joined, not gonna lie. To company TCC management. We can confirm that it is so. Right. We've been trying to get to 200 clients for a very long time now. And then with regard to this organization, only people that are authorized by the executive chair and founder are permitted to enter here. This is so we can make sure we're not getting problematic people. Right. We endeavor to make sure this community is a friendly, welcoming one to all. Oh, Cappy said the first thing. And then above that, Furt said, wow, I've never seen the board of directors welcome anyone before. Congrats. Some people just keep it real. And I can respect that. Some people just ask the honest questions. And that level of insight and just the willingness to call a spade should not be undersold. No matter how, perhaps, off-putting direct questions can be sometimes. I think it's important that we recognize when people are asking direct questions and reward that with an answer if possible and an acknowledgement of the sentiment otherwise. Mr. Shiny says, there are many things in life you can't overcome yourself. When you're in a terrible state, any kind of help matters. I would generally agree with that. You know, rooting out and discounting the obvious edge case scenarios. Yeah, I would agree with that. Help is important. And then you go on to say you don't get the stigma around therapy, especially in where you live. It's seen something like only for people with mental illnesses, and certain individuals tend to mock those who seek it. Well, okay, so in my endeavor to, like, you know, stay apprised of certain sociocultural conflicts, I'm all too keenly familiar. The idea that therapy is mainly a woman's solution to problems or to internal problems is mainly like a manosphere talking point, or an alpha male talking point, where it's not that the more moderate among those that consume that sort of mainline opinion don't say that therapy isn't helpful, but that men are by design not emotional creatures, and society has structured them to not be emotional for a myriad of different reasons. The more extreme opinions are, you know, therapy is exclusively for women. I've heard the whole gambit of both men and women talking about it. Let's see. What else? Okay. And then I suppose outside of that, you know, there are people that go to therapy and ultimately the therapy doesn't help, right? Because the people that were in therapy weren't really wanting to help themselves. Which is kind of like a huge deal with therapy. You have to want the help. If you don't want help or you don't think there's anything wrong, you're not going to take it seriously. And I'm saying but I mean a collective view on that. I happen to be playing like an action based hack and slash, and some folks started talking about like recovering from like alcoholism and addiction. Oh, goodbye. Man, that was quite the deluge of an ending, shall we say. Try to like maybe do something like this. Oh, gotta be careful. Nice. I just got stabbed. I need to be really freaking careful. How do I want to handle this? Maybe this bow? Oh, can I knock him into the water? Probably not, but... Alright, there. Let's read some chat messages. Mr. Jason says, to be fair, Cappy wouldn't have gotten that welcome if you hadn't told the board to welcome them. 9 times out of 10, clients on the board would never have met. Yeah, I think I'm generally seeing that pattern, and I think it's just because, you know, I'm under the expectation that of the people at the staff level are the ones doing the greeting, right? Like, if I knew my job were to greet each individual member coming in, I'm not sure I'd be able to handle that, number one. Just, I'm not always the most active person on Discord. And number two, you know, I would do that job to the best of my ability. But it's nice that it is nice that there are, I know that there is staff present whose job is to welcome people in. It's nice to not have to worry about that. And I want to make sure I've given the TCC staff their due as well. Because I have to tell you, if the TCC were running solely off of the board, I'm not sure it would be all that functional without, like, bot assistance. Okay, I did in fact staple some stuff onto there. I'll have to remember this stick is here. Mr. Jason says 9 times that, right, I already read that. And then they go on to say the only staff clients would meet is client reps and for troll creators, playtesters. Right. Anyone higher than that, clients would never really see, you know, outside of a handful of exceptions, right? I would say that that's mostly true for me now. I don't really see people come in all that much. outside of people I personally knew. Mr. Shiny says, oh, yeah, the you're a man, overcome problems yourself rhetoric. Yep, you know you know what I'm talking about with that. I've heard it so many times. Not even funny. The idea of men being supposed to man up every time infuriates me to no end. It's like we're supposed to suppress our emotions and not let other people see them. That's what manning up is kind of like supposed to mean. But unfortunately, both men and women use the term man up to mean completely different things. And so effectively, when you hear someone say that, all you really have to take it to mean at this point is, I don't like the way you're currently expressing yourself. Express yourself a different way. And that's usually followed by a hearty dose of go screw yourself. If at least internally, and then externally, I'm usually looking for the quickest exit possible to not deal with people like that. I just have no patience for people that aren't willing to exercise. I shouldn't say no patience. I have some patience, but I have limited amounts of patience for people that want to assume men, women, and non-binary people are supposed to act in specific manners according to socio-cultural standards. Mr. Jason says, I'm pretty active to say that you're the leader of the board. I am trying to step back from that, though. Oh. Pretty active. Oh, there was just an extra T there. Okay. I didn't even notice. Yeah, I mean, we're not at the point where you can like completely step back yet, but I can imagine your presence might, I wouldn't say disappear, but it would be very likely that presence diminishes to a minimum at some point. Yeah, you're fairly active for an actual executive chair. I would happily say that. Mr. Shiny says, by the way, Mr. Coin, are you planning on tackling Silksong? Heard it runs very smoothly, even on Switch 1. So if I wanted to, I mean, I do want to play Silksong. The problem is that I have not played the first Hollow Knight. I have to fix that before I can even think about before thinking about playing Silksong. I know that's probably unnecessary, right? But I think people are going to say, oh, well, why didn't you start it at the, plain old Hollow Knight? I'm going to be like, well, A, I don't actually own it, and B, Silksong is what I purchased. I have to have money first before I can even think about that. And even then, luckily I don't have to go out and buy Hollow Knight. My sibling owns that. I can just have a discussion with them about it. Just like I had the discussion with them with Tears of the Kingdom. I wouldn't even be playing this if it weren't for them. So I'm super grateful for that. We're going to just drop a random thing and then drop this random thing to get our weapon back. All right. And then Mr. Shiny says, oh yeah, Silksong is more difficult compared to Hollow Knight. I've heard the difficulty spikes are higher, so methinks I should complete Hollow Knight first before I think about Silksong. But it is on my horizon. The only thing is, I suppose the only other thing I should add here is, given my stance on Nintendo's legal procedures and you know what they're doing legally right now, I find it problematic to support them with purchases. And if I ever did get a Switch 2, right? Let's say that happened. I guarantee you, people would say, "Oh, well, where was your energy? Like, where did your energy go?" Right? People would call me a hypocrite. For that, if I did that. I don't want to do that. It's important I stay consistent with my principles more than anything else. Of course, if people gifted me a Switch 2, not that I think that would okay, I gotta like focus up. 1 second, everybody. Getting pelted by... I usually don't get pelted by rock-like likes. That was embarrassing. Mr. Jason says, with Director Sadie, they said, again, I don't know if it's important for this, but you might not be active a lot. I'm not very active nowadays in the Mario Maker community in general, so you won't really... I'm sorry. I won't really be present unless I'm solicited. And I said I couldn't have worded it better myself. You would only be required if solicited. Fair enough. Mr. Jason then goes on to say, if I don't specifically need a director, you won't call them. Fair enough. I like TCC policy and procedure is fairly straightforward. I really haven't had much issue getting outside of like the initial 1 to 2 weeks. Everything runs smooth. Everyone does what they're supposed to do so that I only step in and do what I'm supposed to do. I don't have to pick up for someone else, and that's always nice. That's a sign of a Discord community run really well. I give you accolades for that, Mr. Jason. Mr. Shiny says, my main principle is that you wait until Switch 2 becomes a worthwhile investment. If you wanted to mod some games, you'll use an emulator. Fair, yeah, that's probably really smart, you know, given the whole anti-modification stance that Nintendo has decided to take. Really, it's the excessive bricking of the Switch 2s. For people just using like third-party parts, like not being able to get official Nintendo Switch 2 parts for whatever reason, and you know they're not electing. They didn't purposely choose to get a third-party part. They didn't have a choice but to get a third-party part, and those people still end up getting a brick Switch, or people already have pre-bricked Switches. Not only that, but the whole Pal World fiasco ensures that my opinion of Nintendo kind of remains below room temperature. Mr. Jason says, looking at the staff register, Mr. Coin, understood. And then that's what this second message here. You've got some ambassadors. Nice. I'm not very familiar with the ambassadors. What? I guess that may just be me being rusty at Let's also put a skull here so I know what that is. Mr. Shiny. Oh, you moved to Twitch for a smoother experience? Fair enough. Mr. Shiny, since you were on YouTube for just but a moment ago, how was the ad experience? Because I know YouTube's been stuffing ads into live streams lately. They've been pulling a Twitch, so I'm curious to see if you've been experiencing that. If you don't mind talking about it, that is. Let me just... I probably want a spear for this, like, first part. Maybe. Yep, something like this, and... maybe the Barbarian set? I believe we have the Barbarian set. Wow. Absolutely ambushed. Mr. Jason says a brand ambassador, sometimes called a corporate ambassador, is a person paid by an organization or company to represent its brand in a positive light. So I have one for Europe, Kuwait, and the US. Ah, okay. Okay. So these are like, how do I word this in like TCC parlance? So they're like the most public, or like, yeah, like the most public facing part of the TCC outside of yourself. Like, these are people, the ambassadors are people you can point to and say, these people outside of like the board, the C-suite or whatever, represent us. Like, and what the TCC values best. Understood. Mr. Shiny says, haven't seen any ads on your streams, but on streams of other creators, absolutely. Either forced ad videos or ads popping out instead of live chat. Ah, okay. So I'm not partnered, which is why there haven't been ads yet. Cool. Sorry. I shouldn't be laughing at that. To say it does frustrate me is like to say nothing. I can imagine. There are a lot of people that I should have taken a photo of that. Also, did I not take a photo of the black Hinox? I might not have. At the very least, I'll be able to come back here later and snap a photo, probably. A horn wrapped in dangerous debris. It's easy to work with and greatly increases the attack power. Right. Yeah, let's put this here and take a picture. I think I forgot to snap a photo. Just when a $1 billion company wants even more money. Yes, that is a pretty sad state of affairs. But it's not particularly surprising. Mr. Jason says, I do find one thing funny, Mr. Coin. What's that, Mr. Jason? The highest quality gourmet meat, just kissed by an open flame. No additional seasonings have been added, which lets the natural flavor of the meat really shine. Also, did I feel like I must have had a local aneurysm. Like, just a local bit of brain rot. I've not been reading these. Let's read these, because this is the first instance of this text box. Bird drumstick that's been cooked to a crisp, skin and all. It's devoid of seasoning, but has a simple, accessible taste. Restores more heart than the raw variety. Prime meat that has been flame seared to perfection. The outside is crispy, but the inside is juicy. Eat it to recover hearts. Cool. I'll just go ahead and... Ooh, where's the bubble frog? Might need to figure that out before too long. I'm hoping that an entrance will make itself apparent or clear. Ah, there you are. But I can't... is this bubble frog waving at me? Mr. Jason says it'll take a bit of time to phrase. Sure. Take your time. Mr. Shiny says, I wonder what Gordon Ramsay would say about seared steak in this game. He would likely say it's seared to perfection. Actually, I don't even know. I know the dude's kind of been getting around on making commercials and such. You know, given I want to say he's had a cancer diagnosis as of the last year and a half, 2 years. I could be incorrect about that, but I know that Gordon Ramsay has like generally moved over to, you know, production work, or has kind of been slowly easing off the work he has been doing to go deal with that, because cancer is serious. Mr. Jason says, excluding myself, you, Sadie, Natalie, and Haru have the highest authority in the entirety of the TCC. And that is even above Jamie and... Okay. Well, Natalie can't be part of the highest... Oh, you might mean... There's certainly a different position. Okay. But then when we convert to split regions, Jamie comes out on top as executive president. Oh, and Helen's a director as well. No big deal, Mr. Jason. It's fine. We've fixed it all up. Mr. Shiny says you can mock him, meaning Gordon Ramsay, for certain statements, but he certainly knows his stuff about steaks. Too true. He does know about steak. I hear they're quite high. Okay. Oh boy. Can I, like, if I could just... There, I think I got it. Nice. Tulin, if you had knocked that bubble gem away, I would have been furious with you. You, Sadie, Helen, and Haru have the highest authority in the entire TCC, even above Jamie and Natalie. Okay, got it. But then when we convert to split regions, Jamie comes out on top as executive president. Understood. I appreciate you fixing that, but you didn't have to do that. Like, we worked it out after you had spat out a few other messages. Just so you know. And then he's probably a big stakeholder in his companies. I do hear that Gordon Ramsay's steaks are lauded. Fun fact, Coin's dad, my dad, and his wife, my stepmother, I've actually gone out. They were out at Vegas at one point, sometime within the last 4 or 5 years, maybe a bit further, maybe a bit further forward than that, like less time. Oh yeah, no. They, was it Hell's Kitchen? Gordon Ramsay has like specific locations. They definitely went to the one in Vegas, and my stepmother got the beef Wellington, and my dad got the certified steak. It was like the best steak, the best food they've ever had. I'm jealous. I wish I could have gone, but that would have hiked the bill up even more. Plus, it was for a like a honeymoon, I want to say, which doesn't happen all that often in my house. Mr. Shiny says, saying that wouldn't be a mistake, Mr. Jason. A mistake? Oh, man. Okay. We got the thing. Now, I want to climb... Oh, are we going to be able to climb this manually? I don't think we're going to be able to climb this manually. I think the, yeah, the surfaces are moist. You're meant to ascend through this, is what's going on. Let's see where we pop up if we ascend. Oh. What? I'm sorry. Didn't we explore the labyrinth? What the heck? Okay, so in fairness, I'm acting surprised, but technically, we did see this area in Breath of the Wild. So, like, I should have known this area would be here in Tears of the Kingdom as well. What I in fact did not know, however, was, you know, what they were gonna do with it. I'm not buying it. I think something's gonna... Ah, yes. Oh, please tell me this is not all Gloom Hands. Please, for the love of God, tell me this is not gonna be all Gloom Hands. It's at this point that I probably need to put on the focus command, but I'm gonna read comments first. So in the meantime, let's pause real quick. What makes me incredibly pleased of Alex is that they just fulfilled their role without being asked, which that's always good. I do sometimes hate having to ask constantly. It's impractical for the board to have to constantly remind people. Yeah. Well, being pleased of and being pleased with also works, but being pleased with Alex does sound better and is probably a smoother grammatical fit there. Mr. Shiny says, you would be amazed on where we end up. Alright, we're dealing with Gloom Hands, though. So this is the part where I whip out the lovely little overlay for this. I'm going to focus and quickly clear the hands off the screen. See you guys on the other side of this. Oh, is this not working? Might not be. I could have swore I had this hotkey all figured up. Okay, hold on. Oh, there might be a communication error going on here. Let me run this manually. Oh, yep. No, absolutely not. Okay, let's try that again. But, this time with better armor. Oh, they just left. Okay, so we get the clumps if they do that, but we don't get, like, the sword or the bow or anything if we do things that way. Good to know. I'm gonna walk around, because I do not trust this. Does this work? No, I don't know what's going on with Firebot. That's not good. Let's do this manually for the time being. Mr. Jason says it was quite handy that they left. Glad things didn't go out of hand, wouldn't you agree? Ah, standing ovations. I am truly blessed with an audience that is funnier than I have been watching a couple of, I wouldn't say new YouTubers or anything, but I have been watching an individual by the name of Ya Weasel, a furry VTuber, and he's like, I don't know how to describe him. He's just like very good at making quips with people. He's very good at like coming with wordplay. He's better at it than I am. And the dude has been... Is that just... Please don't tell me this was the only Gloom hand in here, and the rest is like all fake garbage. Or, you know, the rest of the Gloom hands only show up at different intervals. I would be incredibly upset at this. Well, I guess the Gloom hands are back. Holy shine. Oh no. Okay, Mr. Shiny says, so I defeated this one Guardian Stalker and it dropped 3 ancient cores. That's awesome. That's the heck. Yeah, that's quite rare. Yeah, usually I get like a core, not like 3 cores. Then again, I haven't touched Breath of the Wild in... God, I guess it's really getting to be about 8 months, huh? Okay, what is the deal with all this thumping? Alright, I think we've fiddled around long enough. Let's just, Oh, this is like an entrance into a chasm. That's gotta be... Oh, right. It's that chasm. Alright. Take number 2. Gonna save right here. Alright. Let's actually get ready, shall we? Okay. Oh, this one's the club. This one's the club. Get ready. Oh, and that hit something fierce. Okay. Thankfully, we have all this, like, delicious meat we can eat. At least for now. Nice. Got him. A Gloom Club, huh? A metal stick filled with madness and symbolic of doom. You hear that off in the distance, my senators and inductees? That is an ad storm. In about 5 minutes, it'll blow over us, and then we can get right back to the gaming. Thanks. Okay, I tried checking if it was just... Maybe it's like a keyboard connection thing. I'll have to figure out what the deal with the hotkeys is. Maybe I have to, like, refresh Firebot or something. But, that was the 5-minute warning for advertisements, which I'll go over in just a second. The Gloom Club. Its forceful strike can smash an object to pieces. And then there's the text about the Gloom weapons wearing people down. Okay, so we need to figure out, something to, like... like, change out here. I wonder... Maybe this might be... worth that? Nice. Yep. That's totally going to be long-lasting. And I'll definitely pick up a Demon King bow. Maybe we'll get rid of... Not the Bow of Light. I'm still trying to hold on to that. Maybe the Dragon Bone bow? Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, I'm hoping that there's only one. If I see that there's another, I'm gonna be upset. Really? Mr. Jason says, can't you feed the Bow of Light to a rock Octorok? Maybe so, but I gotta bump into one first. Don't think that's gonna be happening until we get over here to Death Mountain. That's another reason why I've kind of been holding on to this thing like crazy, in hopes that it'll spit out a new bow. Because it would suck to lose it. Oh, right, that's just that. Okay. Okay. Got that all sorted. Mr. Shiny says, I think you can't. Legendary weapons can't be fixed by normal means. You need to use a trick. Okay, so what needs to happen then is we need to frame the thing in a house so I can have the slot for a different weapon, is what I'm getting here. Very well. I do want to thank you guys for hanging out with me up to this point. Also, no wonder this looked a little bit tricky. Okay. Just gonna slide some stuff up. You have to fuse a dusk bow to a weapon or shield you can fix. Oh boy, I do not. Yeah, absolutely not. And then we have to replace this. Okay. Good. Let's see. Just get this all sorted out. But yeah, you guys have been awesome so far. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We've got about 2 minutes before the commercial break, so I'm going to do my best to speed this up. I've talked about the free easy methods to help the channel out, and of course you guys being here is enough. But if you feel like going the extra mile and you're feeling financially generous, I do have a number of avenues below. Whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or elsewhere. YouTube, it'll be in the description. And on Twitch, in the About Me, actually it'll be underneath the video player, or like in the little banner underneath the video player will be a Linktree link. Feel free to click around and just discover all the avenues for financial generosity. I do my best to reward people who do that through various Discord perks and other things, but again, none of that is required. Hey there, Aelin. Welcome back. It's nice to see you again. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. And I'll talk at you a bit more after the commercial break. Sorry about that, everybody. I was checking in with my stepmother, mainly just I noticed her on the sofa, and with a bottle of ginger ale nearby. Whenever a bottle of ginger ale is brought home, that usually means there's like stomach or intestinal issues, usually some sort of cold or like stomach cold, stomach flu, which is not fun. So I didn't like speak or anything, but I was making sure she had everything she needed and she was resting well. So I do apologize for the extra length of time that I was gone. Let me read messages real quick, and then we'll get back to the gaming, because that's actually what matters here. Let's see. Mr. Shiny says, let me also check YouTube before I get comfortable. Okay, nothing seems to have changed. I don't know if I shared this information here, but you found a crucial use for long throw. You could use it to toss a weapon so far you don't have to see it again. I guess you would call that the long goodbye. I think that was a pretty good one, all things considered. Two ancient course from a guardian stalker, Shiny would go on to say, nice drops. Let's see. That appears to be in reference to a discussion with Mr. Jason, so I won't read that out loud. Mr. Shiny says, my guardian luck is no longer my core issue. Indeed. And Espion's Cave of Wonders. Welcome on in, Haru. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well in both body and mind, or at least one of those two, if nothing else. And I hope you enjoy your stay. And I guess this is a good opportunity to, introduce myself, since it is like basically the top of the hour. Greetings. My name is Coin. Most people call me Coin. Pretty easy to say. Just think of me when you think of the change in your back pocket, and I guarantee that you won't forget my name. I am a purveyor of action RPGs, or RPGs of all stripes, and action adventure games such as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I stream normally Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Circumstances notwithstanding on that one. And I typically take the weekends off. I would describe my stream as a laid-back place for the most part. We don't usually get too heavy, but I'm not a toxic positivity streamer either. I'm not a, if the world has a ton of issues going on and they're worth talking about, provided we're all respectful about it, and we're not, bogged down in name calling or arguments made in bad faith, I'm more than happy to discuss most things in this channel. So if people are wanting the good vibes tribe experience, I may not be the streamer for you. I may not be. Mr. Jason goes on to say, ooh, 2 PCC board members in the same stream today? Yeah, that's a first. That's definitely a first. Alan says a couple of days ago you saw a guy almost die. Oh, I trust they're all right. Without getting too graphic, what were they doing something, or did someone else like put them in a position where life was risky. I guess I'm curious enough to want to know. Okay, we need to find the well, which is right here. Strongest in the world. That's an unusual weapon you have there. Where did you get it? I made it. No kidding. I make weapons too. I've been using all sorts of materials, trying to make the strongest weapon in the world. Tell me something. You ever heard of a monster they call a Lionel? It's a huge beast with a body like a horse. You wouldn't believe how many times I've seen someone try to ride on a Lionel's back only to go flying. I actually spotted one of their kind northwest of here, near the entrance to Tempest Gulch. But I wasn't about to pick a fight with a monster like that. Strong, agile, and did I mention they could shoot fireballs? The best it could do was turn tail before it caught sight of me. If I could only get a hold of that Lionel's horn, I'm sure it could make the strongest weapon in the world, but I'm no fool. I know I haven't got the skill to take down a Lionel. I just wish someone else would make the weapon of my dreams and show it to me. I'd give them a nice reward. Strongest in the world, eh? You ran into Chabi, who likes to make new weapons using all sorts of different materials at Istakala's stable. She's determined to make the strongest weapon in the world. She believes a weapon made with a Lionel horn would earn the title. Apparently there's a Lionel near the entrance to Tempest Gulch. Okay, let me go back and catch up on chat here, because a lot of text flew on the screen. Espion's Cave of Wonders says, scary, yeah. Nearly watching a spectacle of death occur is usually scary. Alan says he was a biker and a van turned into him. Oh, yeah. Great. Not great. I've been in 3 car wrecks. 2 in, like, I guess half of another one. But I know a thing or two about wrecks. Hearing that, like, brought back flashbacks of a car wreck I was involved in on a cold December night. Not like right after Christmas dinner. I was a really unhappy camper during that. Mr. Jason says, I always like when your inner circle appears. Maybe this will be a new pattern. Mr. Jason says, I remember Chavi's request, Mr. Coin. I waited until I had a silver Lionel saber horn to talk to her. I think I might have one of those. I might have exactly one of those. Alan says when they put him on the stretcher, his leg was twisted 180 degrees. Oh, so it got rotated out of socket. Ugh. Ghastly. I suppose it would look funny, but I can't imagine that being anything but excruciating for a human being. Like, imagine if, part of you just were perpetually bit you in the butt. Oh, the so cool must have been for a different sentence. It's fine. Thanks for saying that, Espion's Cave of Wonders. I have a habit of referring to people by the formal username. How would you like me to refer to you, Espion's Cave of Wonders? I figured I would ask directly and be polite about that. I want to refer to people the way they wish to be referred to, if at all possible. I think I might actually have a weapon already with that. No, I don't. I actually don't have a weapon of that description. I'm sure I could probably make a weapon with that of that description. I do have Lionel horns. Yes, I do in fact have a silver Lionel saber horn, so why don't we go ahead and do that? What do we want to do here with that? Maybe Maybe getting rid of the Silver Lionel Reaper? Yeah, that might work. There we go. You don't mind being called Espeons? Okay, Espeon, very well. That's totally fine. Can do. Might take me a minute to get used to doing that, but you've got it. Mr. Jason says, Mr. Coin, one thing that Cappy said was, well, of course. This does make a lot of sense. Some people sure do have a problematic character. Guess I'm lucky I ran into Jason in my own free time. Or Sir Jason. I don't really know if I should not be more polite, since everyone seems more professional, or so professional. When I said as for titles or honorifics, there's no need. Not even staff have to call Jason Sir. Yeah, I only do that out of politeness and my own professionalism more than anything. And it's just kind of our reference gimmick in referring to each other, Mr. Jason. If, for example, you said, I would feel better if you just referred to me as Jason, I would do that. It would take me a minute to get used to doing that, but I would do that. Aelin says, I came here to see some bitches rammed. Are you going to ram the bitches? I don't know if we're gonna be doing that. We did technically, we blew up some earlier. We fought a Phantom Ganon with the Gloom Club attachment on it. But that's not the same as ramming some bitches, quote unquote. I don't know how I'm gonna possibly meet the qualification for ramming bitches today. Sorry. Yes. Also, I should preface this by saying, if you guys are on Twitch or YouTube, you know, this stream is for adults. It is 18 plus. I shouldn't say that. Technically, 13 or above is legal for either platform, but you really shouldn't be in a, you really shouldn't be on, Twitch or YouTube without an adult if you are not 18 or older. Please do that. Mr. Jason says, I'm served by professionalism, not honorifics. Fair enough. I don't care to be named it as long as people know who you are. Fair. Alan says explosions are also acceptable. Fair. Okay, so if we explode some bitches, that'll work. Good to know. Mr. Jason says, I bet you've missed that. I have in fact missed that. It's nice that everyone's here. I really do appreciate the company. I'm just gonna go out and say it again. I appreciate the company. Espeon's Cave of Wonder says, I've never heard it be used like that in forever. Fair. I generally don't cuss often. I usually only cuss if other people are cussing, and even then, you know, depending on what the cuss word is, I might still, censor it anyway. Mr. Jason says, what I mean is, Mr. Coin, as long as the people in the TCC know that you're the boss, you don't care? Fair. Alan says they're bitches. I want to see some get rammed with Zonai things. Fair. Some people like carnage. What can I say? Sure thing, you can see the weapon. Isn't it a nice looking weapon? No doubt about it. That's a weapon made with a Lionel horn. And it's the horn of a silver Lionel. How did you manage that? Nice and sharp too. You can slice through anything with this baby. That settles it. This is the strongest weapon in the world. I'm honored that I got to see such a stunning weapon up close. Here, it's the least I owe you. 300 rupees to go fight a Lionel, basically. I guess it's not the worst. Then again, the world's a big place. Who knows? Maybe a stronger weapon is out there somewhere. Someday I'll return the favor and show you a weapon of my own making. Okay. I wonder what we're gonna find in here. Everyone, yeah. I'm very happy people are here for multiple reasons. I was really, if I may be honest, as a content creator for a minute. So there's something called a grace threshold, where you could, or an inactivity threshold, where you could be inactive for a certain length of time before the channel or the content you're trying to make is dead. Like you're definitely not gonna be, you're gonna be algorithmically suppressed and people will forget about you. For Twitch, this is about 2 weeks. If you go without streaming for about 2 weeks, you will generally lose a lot. You could lose months worth of momentum. On YouTube, the same momentum for long-form content is about a month. You could go quite a bit without making content, but eventually, you know, people will forget about you. I was really concerned that, although I had people in my Discord, right, who were giving me reassurances, I was still worried that, you know, people would have forgotten about me, and I'm really happy that that's not the case, especially for today. I'm just truly awestruck by that. Aelin and Espion. Oh, Espion says, I agree with you. I presume that's Mr. Jason. Aelin says, I'm happy to be here. I'll be here all week. I'll be here all week. Mr. Jason says, it is a good job then that the TCC specializes in networking then. Too true. I think we've got a nice turn pivot. We need to do some things to keep that up, but I'm very confident that the TCC will be a ever more robust networking platform than ever before. Mr. Jason says, putting professionalism aside, give me a mod sword. I'm yours for life. Fair enough. I'm grateful that I can count on your continued moderating presence, Mr. Jason. I wasn't expecting a random Hylia statue, but whatever. I suppose it could be worse. Let us... Let's see. Let's figure out how I want to do this. Maybe... Yeah, let's do some gliding through the sky. Especially for folks that have not seen this portion of Tears of the Kingdom before. Going sky gliding is like just a whole different experience. Espion says, I love communities like this. It makes me feel calmer. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Espion, and I hope that I will, you know, continue to do that for...
Grant me suck.
Thank you for that redemption, Mr. Shiny. Speaking of redemptions, for those of you on Twitch, if you would look at the bottom left-hand corner of your chat panel, I have a litany of different kinds of buttons that you could press. All of my channel point redemptions are color-coded. Anything in black is bog standard Twitch channel point redemptions, highlighting a message, sending a message in a specific chat or whatever. That's all in black. You always have access to those. The pink channel point redemptions are just sound bites. You just pay 50 channel points and you do something funny. That's all there is to it. It's a soundboard redemption. Anything in purple is something actually happens. For example, Ask Me Anything is you pay 50 points and you ask a question and I have to answer it. I don't know about honestly, but I do at least have to answer it. Similar ones are like posture checks, hydrate, making me get up and stretch. I have a hat I could go grab if you want me to wear that, so on and so forth. I have quite a few different things to peruse. Do feel free to look around in there, or don't. I'm not in the habit of telling people what to do. Just want you folks to know that I do have redemptions if you want to use them. Now that I've cleared my throat, let's continue reading messages here. Mr. Jason says we're almost at 50 verified streamers, Mr. Coin, for the TCC, right? Nice. Another milestone is coming up. Good. In one channel, Mr. Coin, Mr. Jason goes on to say, I have 476,000 channel points. Nice. Pog. Mr. Jason goes on to say, I'm also not in the habit of telling people what to do unless it's in the TCC. Fair. Definitely fair. Yeah, I'm just a live and let live type for the most part. That doesn't mean I don't have opinions. I do have plenty of those. But I'm very conscientious about just saying, I'm very conscientious about, oh, what was that all about? I'm very conscientious about, imposing my will on other people. I don't like to do that. The best decisions are made through, one's own volition. Espion says, facts, fair enough. Mr. Jason says, plus, I'm able to be more chill about it. The TCC closed 2 to 3 hours ago, so you're off duty. Fair enough. So, for those that are kind of wondering what the heck we're looking at here, welcome to Tears of the Kingdom. There are 3 levels: the sky, the surface, and the depths. You start out in sky, you eventually make your way into the surface, and at some point you have to enter the depth. The underground, if you will. Let's just go ahead and do things like this. And initially you don't have nice, sweet gear to go, sky gliding with or skydiving with. You have to earn it through a series of challenges. But as someone who enjoyed the paragliding in Breath of the Wild, if you generally like sky segments, or you like gliding segments in video games, you will enjoy the paragliding and skydiving in Tears of the Kingdom. Absolutely. Mr. Jason says, although you might be off duty, but if anything happens off the clock, you'll deal with it and nip it in the bud as soon as 9 a.m. TCC time hits. Understood. Mr. Bear Type, welcome back, good sir. Nice to see you again. Yes, I am still alive. It's been a long month, and technically I have still been making content, right? But airing premieres on YouTube and only on YouTube is different than making content in my usual capacities, so I could definitely see why people thought, I was dead. And at least 3 of those weeks, I definitely spent recovering from viral conjunctivitis, which was not fun. But yes, I am alive, and I'm glad to hear from you again. how are things in your slice of terra firma? How has your content creation journey been going? I've been noticing the uptick in uploads lately, Mr. Bear Type. I trust the videos and the streams have been going well for you. Espion says I'm still alive. That's good too. Aelin says, I don't know if I'm alive. Are you typing? Are you breathing? You're alive. Do you draw breath? Do you still bleed? Then you're still alive. How have I been? Outside of what I said earlier about let's see. Outside of what I said earlier about you know, battling viral conjunctivitis. Oh, do we? Please tell me we have... Yeah, we do in fact have one. Let's use this here. Yeah, outside of my battle with viral conjunctivitis and writing my sleep schedule, I'm okay. You know, I'm still hanging in there. You know, the world's burning up alive. The political hellscape is truly well and alive. Everyone is perpetually angry. But in this sea of perpetually angry voices, I am okay. I'm breathing, I'm living, I'm surviving. And I have people between you guys and my friends and family. You know, I have people that care about me, and that means the world to me. So I can't just go sloughing it off this mortal coil quite yet, now can I? That would be in bad form. Mr. Bear Type says, kind of took a little break there because school, but I've done stuff here and there. That's good. That's definitely good. Aelin says, maybe. You're alive. I don't... Look, nobody here is a Schrodinger's human being, okay? Save that for the cats. Please... Oh, I don't have stamina. That's kind of a problem. We have the energy for now, but that could be a problem real soon. Well, I'm kind of not in my country and in France, so probably won't be here for a little. Can be a little now, though. The sods in the UK and in France. I feel for them. Yeah, because, isn't the French government about ready to collapse? Sorry, Link, I'm making you do wall running exercises. I'm determined not to, you know, fall off of this, rock pillar here. Let's continue. Yeah, France's government is on the precipice of collapsing. The prime minister and, like, the president got, like, a vote of no confidence. There are people walking out in protest in the UK over immigration concerns and other reasons. And then you've got other volatile things happening here in the US and elsewhere. So the world just feels very perpetually angry. And, you know, that's not even getting into, like, you know, regional conflicts around the globe, you know, trade wars and so on. The world is just a very angry place right now. Aelin says, I live in rural Connecticut, so you don't really feel the effects of politics as much. Yeah, I get the feeling. I know what that feeling is like. I live in, like, a relatively... Without, like, revealing too much, I live in, like, a relatively backwater place. in my state. You know, I mean, I'm not too far from the border, but like no one would think to come here unless I explicitly told them. I gave them like an address or something. So I would consider my little slice of terra firma to be very, very backwater. And most people care about taxes. They care about taxes. Our people aren't getting shot. And as sucky as the job market is, most people around here are at least still employed. So I'm thankful to be in this little oh, let's be exceptionally careful. I'm grateful that I'm in the section of the U.S. that I'm currently in. You know, more personal circumstances notwithstanding. Mr. Beard Type says, also the internet in this hotel is so bad. I mean, that's hotel Wi-Fi for you. Yeah, that's part and parcel. No, it's just that you're on vacation here? Good. Sometimes the best place you can be is away from home. Sorry, just taking a sippy. Mr. Jason says, technically speaking, Mr. Coin, in terms of the TCC, me and Haru are currently the active leaders. I updated the times and shifts in the TCC time board. Sir, okay. I'll take a look at that and make sure I've familiarized myself with it. Aelin says, and I exist. You think, therefore you are, therefore you live, right? In the words of Shakespeare himself, with maybe a couple of additions from me. Yay! Yes, yay for existence. In the sea of all this anger and despair, I promise there is hope. You may need to, you may need to go out and clutch it. You may need to go out and work for the hope. But it's there. It's there. I promise. And there are plenty of other people that are all trying to grasp for that same hope. We're not alone. And as bad as the times are, as long as you have a local community that you could be part of, you're never truly alone. Like if something should happen to the internet for whatever crazy reason, cables get cut and so on, you'll at least have your local community. Mr. Bear Type, you think you need to go now, but hopefully you could be here more? No problem. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I will be, and to answer your question before you step out the door, real quick, I should be streaming tomorrow. And then after that, after the weekend, my schedule will get a little bit patchy while I have a client job going on. But yeah, see you later, Mr. Bear Type, and thank you again for stopping by. Rest well and be well, my lovely senator and inductee. Aelin says, let's be exceptionally careful, semicolon. Continues to fall at Mach 2. So much for careful. And yeah, if this game were truly realistic, we definitely would have taken a lot of Oh, someone has noticed. My house sitting job. Take care. Yeah, bye, says Mr. Bear Type. Take care, Mr. Bear Type. See you next time. Even though I guess I just want to make sure I'm not like, how do I word this? You don't want to have, like, toxic... Hey, it's a bitch. I should have exploded it. I'll explode the next one, because I know that's what you want to see, Aelin. You've got my word on that. And I'm willing to bet the... Oh, another one. Alright. Bomb to the face. 2 bombs to the face. I assume you would like the explosion to be a bit more impactful, but I'm hoping that, I'm... Nice. Let's get a whole bunch of them this time. There. That's better. I don't want to run through too many bombs, but I can spare a couple. Oh, no, I don't want all of these lovely ingredients to melt. Tulin, I love you. Espion says, I feel calm and relaxed. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Mr. Jason says, the TCC board is nearly equal, by the way, Mr. Coin. 2 Europeans and 3 Americans. And 1 from the UK. You need another European eventually. Yeah, you'll get that in time. I feel confident you'll get that in time more than anything. Okay, we're gonna just drop that. Let's see. No, stop taking captures. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm so used to B being A and A being B on another controller that I've been mishmashing buttons by accident. It's gonna take me some time to get used to the controls again, truly. So, let's see. Let me go and read. Aelin says, or asked a question. So, technically, the UK is like its own thing. It's like colloquially considered part of Europe. Like when us Americans are talking about Europe, we kind of lump in England and Ireland and Scotland in with the Europeans too. We do that, but they are technically their own thing. They're not part of continental Europe. The culture is different. Now, if the people of the UK were part of the EU, or were still part of the EU, I might be more inclined to say they're technically not part of continental Europe, but I would call them European. I would refer to them as that. But Brexit happened. Britain is no longer part of the EU. Or I should say the United Kingdom is not part of the EU. Has not been for multiple years now. So the most I should say is we lump them in. There's a lot of cultural overlap. I'm gesturing with my right hand like you guys can see that. But they're not technically European. Me, Haru, and Natalie make up the American. Okay, yeah, that's for the Americans. That makes sense. Yeah, your employee listing matches out, Mr. Jason, after the correction. Aelin says, yes, Doggerland. What's Doggerland supposed to mean? I might not want to know either. Okay, let's find the bubble frog, and then we need to hoof it to the object of today's thumbnail. I do not have a lot of time for that. Mr. Jason says, essentially, Aelin, the Europeans and American follow what HQ does. I wonder if that wasn't a more general question. I suppose Aelin will mention that. Oh, right, I forget. We have dazzle fruit for this sort of thing. Let's use that. There. Much better. Oh, hello. That should be... We should be okay. I shouldn't need to focus on that. It was a big piece of land next to Britain that sank. Yeah, I suppose if you're, like, talking about the formation of continents, you know, before and after Pangaea broke up, yeah, technically, you know, the United Kingdom or England would have been part of Europe at that point. That's fair. I don't think Dazzled Fruit... Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think Dazzled Fruit works particularly well here. Maybe something like... Sure, let's use this. Gotta be careful. Oh, yep, absolutely careful. I love having a flashbang just available on like the fire of a bowstring. Let him pick that right back up. Oh, but that only lasts long the first time. I'm sorry, under what circumstance did that... Alright. I need to make more food, apparently. Well, I'll certainly have my farming cut out for me. Alan says, but it sank million... Yeah, right. Like we were discussing before with Pangaea and the continental formation. Yeah. Sank millions of years ago. And I suppose before that, you know, we could talk about, you know, the state of the earth prior to water being on it. It's kind of just a barren rock, right? And it wasn't until it wasn't until greenhouse gases and the correct mixture of gases, mainly oxygenated gas, came into play. And sorry, I literally lost my train of thought mid-sentence. Yeah, it wasn't until oxygenated gas came into play at the right ratio for rain to occur. And then after that, you know, along with all that, along with basically the correct conditions, you know, soon the chemical markers for life followed thereafter. Let's put this. I don't think so. We still gotta find the bubble frog. That's probably up here somewhere. One thing at a time. Let's see. Essentially, the TCC is currently made up of 3 main branches: the UK, Europe, and America. Me and Haru are as directors control the American branch. We're the highest authority over there, whereas Helen and Sadie are directors control the European branch. But if the HQ wants to change plans, HQ can and will do. Fair. I could go into more in detail, but it is not ideal. Sure. Yeah, that's pretty much a nice sum of it, you know. Jason's like the big boss. Like, we listen to him. But if people are breaking rules or whatever, and Haru and I get involved, you know, people should listen to us. That said, there's like procedures for everything. We don't just arbitrate punishment. That's not what we're there for. Legends say this mask was once worn by a hero from a world in which the moon threatened to fall. It looks scary, but wearing it offers fierce godlike power. Let's see. Do we... That's 2... Ooh, actually, no. We have the full set. Let's equip this real quick. Well, if we want to wear this instead of the barbarian set, I guess we have that going on for us. Next up on our agenda, we need to find the bubble frog, and then we need to take a dive over to the chasm and quickly find the mine that I've put in today's thumbnail. I hope those that were clicking on today's YouTube thumbnail, I hope they enjoy the thumbnail as basic as it was. I worked pretty hard on that in like a short 20-minute time span. Obviously, I've had better thumbnails in the past. But I think I'm pretty pleased with what I was able to come up with in around 20 minutes. Do not like how resistant this is. Oh, I can hear a bubble frog back there. Okay. Aelin says, I don't think there's a single character in the game that isn't hot. Okay. Whatever floats your boat. And with Robbie, my point still stands. Remind me what your previous point about Robbie was? It has been a month. Just so I don't like cross wires when we don't need to. Ah, there's Mr. Bubble Frog. Oh, you can tell he has experience. Well, he is married, Aelin. That's fair. I mean, the elderly do tend to have experience. But the dude is married. Really, most people, actually, I would say 50 to 60% of the NPCs you meet in this game are married. Like, they either have kids, have had multiple kids, or they're like a young boyfriend, girlfriend couple. They're like already a thing. There are so many married people in this game. It's not even funny. Okay, let's head over to this shrine and let's jump into a chasm, because I am running low on time. And then Mr. Jason says, basically, Aelin, Coin and Haru can discipline American staff if things are not appropriate. Yeah. And then we come up with a justification for what we're planning on doing. Right. Aelin says, hey, I'm pansexual. Gotta frick 'em all. Fair enough. Fair enough. Different strokes for different folks. It's how this world works. There's a tall glass of water out there for everyone. I'm not sure I'm going to allude to what that tall glass of water is for me. Let me go ahead and put back on the correct gear. At least for this part. I doubt we're going to be getting into combat. I'll share half of my drink of water. How's that? So, with ladies, or with, you know, AFAB people, that's assigned female at birth for people that just don't know the parlance. I tend to like them Nordic. So kind of tall, brown or black hair, and usually blue eyes. That's usually my type. Among, like, that's not to say other women aren't pretty, but we're talking about the glass of water here. We're talking about preferences. Mr. Shiny says that there's a hole, there's a way. Too true. If there's a hole, there's a... Oh my god. Oh man. Well, PG-13, everybody. Mr. Clabus, welcome on in, good sir. Good to see you again. I trust this month has been going relatively well for you, Mr. Clabus. If you guys don't know who Mr. Clabus is, he streams, I think, when last I saw you were streaming a litany of different things. I know you've kind of undergone a soft rebrand of sorts, just from the notices. So you'll have to tell me if you've locked in on something specific. But if you guys like relatively chill, laid-back streamers, do check out Mr. Clabus. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Interesting. Let's see. Aelin says, yeah, I'm not gonna read that out loud, but yeah, fair. Clabus says, still same. Oh, that was in regards to the how things been going this past month. Yeah. It really has been about a month for me. Still games. I take it you with the rebrand, is the rebrand just like a overlay in visuals rebrand, or is there more to it? If and you don't mind me asking that is. Obsidian Frocks? What? I'm sorry. What? I was just wanting to come in and quickly get to a cave or get to a light route, not this nonsense. Visual, just new visuals. Okay, so that's what we mean by soft rebrand then. Okay, got it. But also planning new games after your Thailand trip. Nice. That's awesome. And I trust the Thailand trip went well as well then. Mr. Jason says, that's one thing I love about the TCC, Mr. Coin. I explained the hierarchy of the TCC to someone, and it took almost 1,100 characters to explain, and even then it was basic. Well, you have, like, really refined the... Let's call it the terms and conditions and the structure of of the TCC. It's not really something that can be dispensed with in no less than a couple of pages. Aelin says, these guys love bright blooms. I'll give it a try. Clabus says, yeah, going October the 14th and staying there 3 weeks. I trust you will have lots of good food and good stories to share about. With the whole class. Hopefully. I hope that trip does what it's supposed to do for you, Mr. Clabus. Hey there, NK Plays. Welcome on in. Good to see you again, good sir. Hopefully we're all doing well. I don't know if I've said all of that, if I've said that to as many people as I should have. I hope everyone is doing well in body and mind that are all kind of coming in. But yeah, it's been a solid month, Mr. NK. How have things been for you in your little slice of terra firma, if in our planet Earth, if and you don't mind my asking? Mr. Klebus says, I'll be back in Estonia on the 4th of November. With so much of the bullshit going on, planning on turning off the internet? Fair. Yeah, if I were on vacation, I would too. lots of BS everywhere. With political schemes and temptation. NK Play says, joined on the tail end. Yeah, once we fight the Obsidian Frox and get to the light route I want to get to, we'll be calling it from there. I kind of need to keep my schedule consistent for upcoming client jobs, or I would probably stream extra. NK Play says, good. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Since school started, you haven't really been able to tune in. No worries, because I've been out for a month, and for other people, you know, school comes first. More than anything else. Espeon says, I'm brain dead tired right now, lol. Fair. How am I doing, Mr. Coin? Thank you for asking, Mr. NK. I am currently doing okay. I have recently recovered from viral conjunctivitis, which was a whole 3-week ordeal. I'm grateful that saga is over, and then it took me almost another week to claw back my sleep schedule to something representing, you know, a line of behaviors compatible with streaming. Like, I was up during the crack of dawn and asleep during the midday. I've clawed that back almost to where it should be. Other than that, as well as I can be, given the state of current events and the geopolitical climb. That is about as ginger as I'm going to be with that. Since I'm dealing with an enemy I've not seen before, I'm definitely going to put up the UI for a second while I spend some time figuring it out. I am going to try that Bright Bloom suggestion now, so let's go ahead and tinker with this. So, it's not that I won't be chatty, but I may not be the most responsive person in the world while this focus interface is, or focus UI is in. Yes, sir, Mr. NK, I am locked in. And I'm locked in and loaded. And speaking of being locked in and loaded, let's unload on this Obsidian Frox. I'm about to find out whether or not the Obsidian Frox's horns are higher quality than blue or not. Okay. Bright Bloom, huh? Let's see how much they really do like it. Doesn't seem... maybe I'm not... When they suck them, throw it into the mouth. Okay. Yep. Got it. Oh, I see what that's there for. That's to give them... That lets us kind of aim. Okay, so I was supposed to do something with that. I'll attempt to do something with that next time. Okay. I think I prefer my other method of dealing with these, but it is nice to showcase. Okay, where are my eyeballs at? There we are. This seemed to me to be somewhere between a blue Frox and a normal Frox. To me. Okay. I'm gonna have to fix Firebot. I hate having to run this manually each time. Nope, that still didn't work. What's going on here? There we go. Mr. Jason says, I found out Mr. Coin, Frox, Obsidian Frox, Blue White Frox. That's about what I figured. Obsidian is second strongest. Is the second strongest. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, and like the amount of smacks that it took me to clear out each of the ore pieces on its back seemed to be somewhere between the two. So I think finding the official placement just kind of validates my own expectations. Speaking of expectations, let's make sure we do the expected thing of snapping photos. Now, we don't have I'm technically kind of overtime as is, so let's make things quick, shall we? Mr. NK says you're probably going to return to Tears of the Kingdom. That's cool. Were you on I think you were on a Breath of the Wild kick the last time you and I talked to each other. Was that more or less correct? Also, we're at... Let's see, I can technically mark these locations with... No, I don't want to do that. I want to make it here, but I think I might need to go here first. I'm kind of having to do this piecemeal, because otherwise I'm going to end up not really knowing where I'm going, at least for a long while. Also, before I get too carried away, there, that ought to fix it good. NK Play says, yeah, I was trying to get voice memories that you have Switch 2. Also, did I start on the memories for Tears of the Kingdom? A little bit. Let's see. I have a couple of them. I'm trying to do it in order so that, you know, we can kind of see the story as it's unfolding and it makes sense. We're not having to go back and replay the memories in like order later so that we understand exactly what's happening. I realize that's kind of an obtuse, you know, it drags it out more than necessary, but I'm doing it for like structure reasons. Okay, how much of this does this reveal? Not as much as I would have liked. Alan says, I think I'm gonna go, so have a good day. Bye. No problem. Thank you so much for stopping by, Alan. I hope to see you again sooner rather than later, my lovely senator and inductee. Do rest well, and be merry. And I'll see you next time. Okay, we're gonna delete that pin. So I know the general direction I want to go for this is just, you know, finding the spot where it's gonna start like wrapping around. That part's gonna be a little bit sus until we until it starts kind of like coming into vision. But that shouldn't last too terribly long. Just gotta make sure my bearing is like right. Yep, just kind of follow the rock face. Think this is correct. I guess I'll find out if it's correct or not just based on whether or not this is gonna like curve out. This is like going almost directly due south. Yeah, okay. Actually, what might be more useful is this is the part that I would like to call advanced map technique, where if you realize you're going somewhere and you don't quite know the shape that it's supposed to take, flicking on the like layer of map above this one or above the one you're on may help more than you realize. Espeon says, I'm going to head out since my phone is going to die soon, so I'll see you later, Mr. Coin. Thank you so much for stopping by, Espeon. Nice to see you. I hope to see you back sooner rather than later, my lovely senator and inductee. Do rest well and be well, and with any luck, I will see you sooner rather than later. Do take care of yourself. And with that, goodbye. Well, here's like a whole mine system right here. Welcome to the wrist mine, everybody. This was what I was looking to show off in today's, on today's stream, and I was hoping to have done that much earlier, but sometimes you just gotta take what you can get. Sometimes the stream is just off target, and all you can really do is, try to fix it for the future. Yeah, I'll see Haru at work tomorrow. Absolutely. I know this is kind of supposed to be a whole sorted affair by stepping through here on foot, but I'd like to save some time. So I think unless the game forces me to get off the hover bike, I'm gonna like keep going. We could always come back through and explore some bits of the mine later. Mr. Jason says, with the thumbnail, that's your aim, but if you don't reach the aim, you've still had fun. Too true. Too true. But I don't want to be accused of clickbait either. So it's like, gotta walk that line more than anything. Nice. I really did not want stuff like this to be happening. I'm debating whether or not I want to, like, do any fighting. I guess we can. Sure. Nice. This is gonna continue, isn't it? I guess what I could do is, mushroom. And then we can, like, sneak strike. Come on, Link. Get with the program. Work with me. There. That's better. Mr. Jason says, very similarly with Alex, for example, their TCC role is to welcome in clients within the first hour if possible, but same day is the next best goal. It's not necessary, as long as it's not overly long. Yeah, like, you eventually want to issue a response, and you do want that response to be prompt. That's the goal. I get that. It's just, I like holding myself up to a standard. I want to meet that standard. It kind of sucks to make a thumbnail and then not even get to the contents of the thumbnail. It's a content creator problem. It's not an anything else problem. This is a pretty, like, nondescript light route, all things considered. Very much worth checking out the rest of the mine at a later date. Probably not on the way back, though. That said, I'm already 15 minutes over, so I am gonna cut and run today. I would raid out, but I'm trying to get my schedule cemented in a way that isn't going to disrupt my upcoming house sitting or, like, pet sitting jobs. Speaking of, again, I will put out a vlog by Saturday. So in roughly 2 days from now, I will put that out on YouTube, and you guys will have a better sense of where I was during the last month. I owe you guys that. You guys deserve transparency and honesty. More than anything else. I promise you'll get that. Mr. Shiny says, sorry I haven't been so chatty, but you were here and watching. No worries, Mr. Shiny. No worries. Let me go ahead and read chat here. Mr. Jason says, I may be a boss, but you are humble. I will never, ever act like client representatives aren't the most important role. Without them, the organization is kind of dead. Yeah, I would agree with that, Mr. Jason. Our clients are the most important part of the TCC. We do not exist without them. Mr. Jason goes on to say, bye, Mr. Coin. Thank you for the stream. No problem. And thank you guys for being here. You guys are amazing and mean the world to me. We've already shouted out Mr. Klebus. Let's see. I do want to give you guys one more person to shout out before I hit the door here or exit the door here. If you guys like really high energy content creators, and yes, please do also give Mr. NK a shout out as well. I know this guy mainly through his Twitter presence. But he's really infectious. Once you sit in a stream or you're on his content pages, you'll want to follow him around. His name is Blaine, and he's playing some Marvel Rivals right now. So if you guys like shooters, with kind of like Overwatch, you'll like him. You guys have a litany of people to pick, everybody. But do feel free to check out anyone. Don't let me be the arbiter of what you want to watch or don't. We will be back tomorrow, starting at an appropriate time this time, and kind of going from there. My name is Coin. This has been another episode of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I might have been a month out of the running, but I promise I am not dead. I am very much alive. I'm kicking. I am breathing. I am screaming. Promise. You guys know the algorithmic stuff to do. I won't harp on that any further. My senators and inductees, do stay safe. Do take care of yourselves. You're welcome in my hallowed halls anytime. I'll see you guys next time. And with that, goodbye.